Good morning, students. How are you doing? I hope you are all fine. In today's lesson, I'm going to talk about characters analysis. Actually, in Waiting for Godot, we have 5 characters. We have 2 major characters and we have 3 minor characters. The first character is Vladimir, so let's get started with the first character, Vladimir. Vladimir, perhaps the real protagonist of the play. Vladimir often seems to be more rational than his more nonsensical companion Estragon. Actually, Vladimir can be regarded as a real protagonist in the play, and Vladimir seems to be more rational than his friend Estragon, who is nonsensical. Unlike the other characters in the play, he has a sense of linear time and realizes that the events of Act 2 essentially repeat those of Act 1. So, Vladimir is aware of his time, is aware of his place. He knows what's going on in his life. He's also able to remember people's identities, unlike Estragon and Pozzo, who forget each other in Act 2. So, Vladimir does not have a problem of identity, a problem of existence. He seems to be the only one who is really outraged at Pozzo's horrible treatment of Lucky in Act 1, but he doesn't actually do anything to help him. Vladimir often tries to explain what's going on in the world, where they are, when they are, and to show evidence to support his theories. As I've told you, Vladimir is aware of his time, is aware of his place. Vladimir tries to find a solution to the problems of the modern man. Vladimir tries to find an explanation of the vague universe. Tries to find a solution to the problems of his life. But such rational or scientific efforts never yield any solid insight. And by the end of the play, Vladimir seems less sure than he did at the beginning. Vladimir relies upon Estragon's company as much as Estragon relies upon Vladimir. So they need each other. They need each other. Whenever Estragon leaves the stage for a brief moment, Vladimir panics out of his intense fear of loneliness and abandonment. Let's move to the second character, Estragon. Estragon is one of the 2 main characters of the play. Along with Vladimir, Estragon is rather helpless on his way. In the beginning of the play, he struggles just to take off his boots, for example. That means he suffers from physical suffering. Unlike Vladimir, he has no grasp of time and is confused as to whether it is evening or morning in Act 2. So he has a problem of time. He has a problem of place. He is not aware of his time. He is not aware of his place. Along similar lines, he has a poor grasp of people's identities. This is another problem. He has a problem of identity, means a problem of existence. He doesn't recognize Lucky and Pozzo in Act 2, and at one point thinks Pozzo's name is Abel. He cannot even remember his own past and tells Pozzo his name is Adam. Estragon repeatedly wants to leave, but each time Vladimir reminds him that they must stay and wait for Godot. While he often forms a dull-minded counterpoint to the more cerebral Vladimir, Estragon is still able to match Vladimir's verbal wit, and once claims that he used to be a poet. What I want to tell you that Estragon is not like Vladimir. Estragon is not a philosopher. Estragon suffers from a physical suffering. He doesn't care about the life, the problem of the modern man. He is not searching for explanation of the vague universe like Vladimir. Okay. Now let's move to the third character, Pozzo. Pozzo runs into Vladimir and Stragon while journeying along the road in both acts. Pozzo is a cruel master, and he has a man that his name is Lucky. He's half crazy. He's half a crazy man. He abuses Lucky and treats him as a slave, pulling him around with a rope tied around his neck and having him carry all his things. As I've told you, he's a cruel master. While he exercises some relative power and authority over Lucky and acts superior to the other characters, he is nonetheless far from powerful himself. So he's a weak. He is not a powerful man. He's helpless. Why? He panics when he loses things like his watch and is doomed to repeat his wandering every day, just as Vladimir and Stragon repeat their waiting for Godot. He is particularly helpless in Act 2 when he is inexplicably struck blind and is unable to get up after falling to the ground. Lucky is Pozzo's slave, whom Pozzo treats horrible and continually insults, addressing him only as pig. He is mostly silent in the play, but gives a lengthy, mostly nonsensical monologue in Act 1, when Pozzo asks him to think out loud. While all the characters on stage suffer in different ways throughout the play, Lucky is the play's most obvious figure of physical suffering and exploitation. Why? Because he is whipped, beaten, and kicked by other characters. So Lucky is suffering from physical pain. Okay. Now let's move to the fifth character, Boy, the messenger, the unnamed boy who brings a message from Godot in both acts. Both times he tells Vladimir and Estragon that Godot is not coming, but will come the next day. It is unclear whether the same boy comes in both acts, or whether these are two different characters. In Act 2, the boy claims to be different from the boy of Act 1. But then again, Pozzo claims in Act 2 that he did not meet Vladimir and Stragon in Act 1. The boy describes working under Godot as if on a farm or plantation, where he watches over Godot's animals. When the boy asks Vladimir if he would like to send a message to Godot, Vladimir asks him to tell Godot simply that he saw Vladimir. What does that mean? It's a very good question. That means Vladimir is aware of existence, is aware of his identity. He wants to tell the messenger that I am existent. Tells your master that Vladimir is existent. Okay? Now let's move to the final character, Godot. While Godot never appears on stage or has any lines, he is such a significant absence in the play that he may be rightly recognized as one of the play's characters. As you know, Godot never appears in the play, but Godot is regarded as one of the basic characters in the play. Okay? What little we can gather about Mr. Godot comes from the dialogue of Estragon, Vladimir, and the boy he sends to deliver his message. The boy says that he watches over Godot's goats and describes Godot as a relatively kind master. Whoever Godot is, Vladimir and Estragon are convinced that he alone will save them, so they wait endlessly for his arrival, which never comes. Because of, this is a very good idea, because of his name's resemblance to God, Godot is heaven. Maybe read as Beckett's pessimistic version of God. Okay? According to this point of view, Beckett means by Godot is a pessimistic version of God. God, but is a disabled. Okay? An absent Savior who never comes to the aid of those suffering on earth. Thank you very much. I'll see you in next lectures.